안녕하세요. Hello YouTube. This is DKDKTV, Danny David, 정국, Suzy, 설리, Joey, Hetty, EXO, Kai. All of these idols have graduated from this high school, and this exact high school is under a lot of controversy right now. Of course, we're talking about School of Performing Arts Seoul, or so-called SOPA, 서울공연예술고등학교.
Before we go into the actual issue, the students of this school have actually made a viral video to spread and expose this whole issue, the current issue that's going on. So let's look at the video first and let's dive deeper into the issue.
본 학교의 학생의 일원으로서 SNS에 글을 올리고 명예를 훼손할 수밖에 없었던 이유를 밝히고 싶습니다. 그 이유는 바로 선택권 없이 외부 공연에 참여시킨 죄, 학교의 시설을 불법으로 개조한 죄.
So on February 17th, students from the graduating class of SOPA uploaded a video that basically revealed alleged injustice inside the school. They modified the lyrics on 누가 죄인인가. It's a song from a musical called Hero, which is about a Japanese independence activist, An Jung-gun. It's about him saying, oh, who is guilty? Me, the activist, doing these illegal things and revealing and exposing the crimes of the Japanese government, or the Japanese government itself who is enslaving the Korean people and whatnot. So it's in the same essence, them saying, we have been through all this injustice, and are we the criminals for exposing them and potentially defaming the school? Here are some of the claims that the students have made in the video. One, the school made students mandatorily perform in events outside of the school, such as private events.
And two, they did not notify students of the pay or purpose of these performances.
Three, the school asked students to perform skinship, that's like touching each other, and look sexy for these performances.
And four, the school notified students of the concert's day before, making them practice until late night and early morning.
And five, this is really maddening. The school received an approximate of 10,000 US dollars in performance fees for a concert in Japan, but it made the students pay for their own flight tickets when they were going there to perform.
And lastly, six, the school threatened whistleblowers with threats of lawsuits and penalization through in-school communities and etc.
So these are all claims that the school students have made. Actually, I saw a lot of comments saying that these students might be expelled.
Yes.
So I did a lot of searching. I'm pretty sure those comments are not verified. I don't think that'll actually happen, to be honest, because these school students have already graduated. They're in the graduating class this year, so they've graduated.
And also, this issue has blown up so big. I don't think it's a good move for the principal to actually expel these students.
No, and I don't think that's like legally possible at this point. Those kind of comments are unverified, but we will give you the facts, the real hard facts that we do have right now so far. Actually, before the video, the Seoul Metropolitan Office of Education already conducted an inspection on the school. On January 27th, they finished the inspection and they found 18 notable issues on SOPA. And the principal and head of administration, they're a married couple, and they were dismissed from their positions after this inspection of SOPA. And 6 of the issues that were shown in the inspections, they've been reported to the police for investigation. So there's 2 sides to this. First, we're gonna talk about the injustice to the students.
And second, we're going to talk about the corruption of the inside of the school.
From 2017, SOPA students were called to perform in at least 10 private events held by the principal and head of administrations at SOPA. Among these private events, there were parties that involved alcohol, and these are high school students, right? Like dinner events with insurance salesmen. Also, the head of administration, the principal's wife, her alumni event. This is maddening. Why are you taking kids to a event for insurance salesmen.
Yes, it's basically like
so
they're living the
stupid.
idle lives, going to festivals and stuff,
But it's not festival.
They're
It's
not
like shitty
idols
dinner
or
parties.
adults. Yeah.
And these were all from the Seoul Metropolitan Office of Education. They through their inspection. According to a radio interview done by a student recently, many times the school did not notify the students about the specifics of the performances, so they could be going to an insurance salesman dinner party, and they don't know like if it's an insurance salesman dinner party. They don't know the purpose. They don't know who it's for, and moreover, they were just told a location and time, and they were just expected to show up there.
I've never heard of anything like this in the world that a school exploits students into a performance at a private
Insurance
in a
sales.
private insurance sales
know.
event.
And according to the same student that did the interview, the school brought mostly female students to events at military bases
Oh no.
or boys' high school. I don't understand why you would take high school girls to military bases. That's a little weird.
Yeah, because like everybody who has gone to the military knows what happens in those kind of concerts and
Like,
performances. Imagine these dudes going crazy over a high school girl performance.
That's a little weird, right?
It's a little weird and off.
During these military-based concerts, they were told to come down to the stage. Like the teachers told them to come down to the stage and hold hands and hug the soldiers. And they wore skimpy clothes in these performances, and some people in the crowd actually tried to touch their legs, but nobody from the school tried to stop them. According to JTBC, which is a credible news source in Korea, the school also requested them to make facial expressions that look sexy for performances. Also, they were not made aware of any performance fees.
Oh, there were performance fees, but the
Sometimes.
students did not even know there were, and they did not receive any. And the school just ate it all by themselves.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The Office of Education, they revealed that a lot of these instances when the performance fees did exist, performance fees would just go to the head of administration at SOPA's private bank account.
Oh no.
It's like, the
how
more
many-
you dig deeper. Currently, the principal is denying all claims that the students and also the Office of Education have made. He said that the concerts were not private events, and they made no request to the students to look sexy, apparently. That's what they say. We're not even halfway done
This
here.
is already overwhelming, but actually there's a very big problem, which is not only the problem of this school, a general problem among Korean education institutions as well. It's the corruption problems behind the school funds and the school organizations, especially in private school. And this is the perfect example of a private school. The admission fee for this school for 1 year is $10,000. $10,000.
Really? Holy shit. That's more expensive than my college admission.
This school is a spine breaker, and obviously the reason parents break their backs and send their kids to this school is because you can see, like, look at the list of the idols.
These
here.
are like
your kids will have a perfect or very high chance of entering the entertainment industry. This is the reason that the parents have to send their kids to this institution. Because of these reasons, the school has been a very closed society, and there was a lot of ties and things going back. If you look in the employment section first, in 2018, the school employed 4 teachers, and one of them was the principal's child. And 3 of them were the principal's family's acquaintances. Not to leave out the fact that we already said that the principal's wife is in charge of the money, right? The funds of the school. And this whole process, the application forms and sheets, were all destroyed inside, the grinder, the shredder. And they were trying to, I don't know, hide some evidence or...
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We're not claiming any of this.
Yes, we're not claiming any of
This
this.
is from the news, man.
The school actually rebutted all these alleged claims that the applications were all destroyed because they had personal information on them, and there was no other reason.
Which is true.
Yeah, which might be another true reason. So diving deeper into the corruption problem, the school has received some funds, subsidiary funds from the local government according to the Office of Education of Seoul. They tracked where these funds were used. And one of them was using the school car for personal purposes and also spending the money on gas fees. Principal also paid his cell phone bills with
like
school money.
This is like really small.
And
it's not that big.
also, it's not the end. The school principal and his family has renovated the school offices, like a whole floor of the school, into his personal used home.
What? He
to reside there. Yes.
Is he Dumbledore?
As you might know, the school is not solely owned or managed by the principal itself. There's a chairman and there's board of directors, right? So they went through the meeting records of the board of directors and they sensed something was quite off or something was weird.
They've been meddled with.
Yeah, they've been meddled with. And one weird fact is that there's a chairman of this school and he's possibly 100 years old, close to that age.
He is 100 years old.
Yeah, he is 100 years old.
He's Dumbledore.
The principal and the school's claim is that he has Alzheimer's. The problem is no one can find him. The Office of Education thought it was weird that nobody could locate the location of this chairman. So they filed a missing report to the police and the police investigated on the whereabouts of this chairman and found him in a nursing hospital.
The principal had moved him to a nursing
Yes,
home.
after the police had found his location, the principal again immediately moved him to another location.
And we don't know where he is now.
So he's missing again, MIA.
One good news from this is actually police are now conducting a season search of the school. They're going to confiscate stuff from the school and do some investigation.
And in either way, because this problem blew up so big, you know, the principal has been principal for 10 plus years, right? And finally, he's been like
Dethroned.
The students are already feeling immediate change in the school and it's going through a good direction.
Really?
A lot of facilities were broken, like the ceiling was leaking with rainwater.
Yeah.
This is an art school, so they have they have recording rooms and singing rooms and practice rooms, right? But the walls, the soundproof walls, were all like destroyed and they were not performing right. And the school had a lot of budget, but they only put up a temporary wall that did not have the functions. After the investigation went through, so the school actually properly replaced into sturdy soundproof material in the practice rooms. So there is a little bit of change going on.
I think you guys are already tired of hearing
the
about
facts.
the facts. So I mean, like, there's nothing really to debate about regarding this because, like, it's a shitty situation and now it's getting better thanks to police investigation. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk about similar instances that we've experienced in the Korean society because let's be honest here, these kind of things are very common. They're very frequent occurrences in the Korean society.
I've seen a lot of cases like this throughout my life, my school life in Korea. I can't name all the schools because I would be like defaming. Just to give you an example, if you go to a university, we're majoring in mass media or media communication.
Yes.
Obviously, there would have to be a proper set of camera equipment and editing rooms and studios and blah, 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 right? And let's say this department of media communication is one of the most prestigious and old and first founded in Korea.
One of them.
Imagine that this department has only 2 working cameras.
Really?
Yes, 2. And then this was exposed. This was exposed by the students.
Oh, really?
And the problem was addressed. So they go through a process of buying new cameras, and wow, they add like 3 more DSLRs. 300 students sharing like max 5 or 6 cameras. And 1 studio room and 1 editing room that runs through like Windows XP or something.
And also pirated versions of Adobe Premiere.
Yes,
I cannot believe that an educational facility is using a pirated version of Adobe Premiere.
Yes,
like
it was pirated edition. I've seen it with my own eyes. We've been in that same editing room, right? So
Of course, we're just talking about our dreams.
yeah, we're talking about like an
this
imaginary
book,
school.
yeah.
We paid $5,000 per semester,
In our dreams.
and we have 5 DSLRs and an editing room that use pirated Adobe Premiere Pro.
I mean, this is a college we're talking about, and it's like this.
Yeah,
Think of how worse it gets
into high schools.
into high school level, especially in private institutions like that. If you go to a public school, you have to be very transparent whenever you spend money. It's very difficult to spend a lot of money on anything. But in private schools, the information is more private, and usually the teachers, they can stay longer. They can stay longer in private schools. In public schools, you have to move around every 5 years. In private schools, there's no limit. So like, there's an entire group of people that have been there for a very long time and have formed a culture. So it's very difficult to change that. And this is what we have in Korean education today. And I actually wanted to extend this onto the topic of Korean leaders not knowing what's in the personal boundaries and what's within the terms of business. Because this person, the principal and the head of administrations, they were using the students to perform at their personal private events for insurance salesmen or their alumni event. For people living outside, that may seem like a crazy thing to do.
No sense.
But in Korea, actually, this is a very common thing. I'm not defending
We're
it.
not justifying it.
I'm
or
actually
anything.
really hating it. I really hate this. But this is like a thing in a lot of Korean companies and whatnot. Even recently, like our mayor, Seoul government's mayor, essentially in charge of the Ministry of Education here, he came on a TV show and proudly showed his daily routine. And guess what he does? He calls up his secretary at 6 a.m. to jog. Like jogging is your personal thing, man.
Yeah.
And the secretary has to go to jog with him. And then when he's finally finished with all the work at like maybe 7 p.m., mayor asks, "Hey, what are you doing for dinner?" And the secretary's like, "Oh, I have a family dinner." And the mayor's like, "Oh, let me join you." And the mayor joins the family.
I mean, he probably must have thought that
Like,
that
he's
was
a
being like friendly and, you know.
But that's an extension of his work, essentially. And even worse is he decides the menu. The mayor decides the menu. And everybody in the family is really uncomfortable because like it's an extension of work and they have to look good to the mayor. Let me just tell you about a crazy experience I had.
What?
In the army. This is very common in the army.
Okay.
So I'm an army translator. My essential job is translating. In my base, one of the commanders, his wife really liked this flower called 무궁화. It's
our national
flower. Basically, she said, "Oh, it would be really nice to have 무궁화 in our base." 2 weeks later, our company leader called us and said, "From today, for the next 2 weeks, we're gonna be planting 무궁화 every single weekend." There were like about 2,000 people in the base, and 2,000 people were working from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. to plant these fucking flowers all over the base every weekend for 2 weeks. So like that's 4 days, and it was raining every single day. Like Korean people in the upper levels of the social hierarchy, they have a mindset that like your private life is an extension of work. Since I am your employer, I can use you for my personal needs. I think that's a lot of the mindset of those people.
This is what you can actually observe in the surface, but if you go inside, the actual problem is the power structure. So like the reason these people can do these kind of things and request these kind of things is because they have the power of or HR and promotions and compensation and stuff like that. For example, a lot of female employees are forced to like cut fruits.
Really?
Cut fruits.
What? Is this the 80s?
Yeah, I know a personal
What?
person who goes to a national owned company.
Yeah.
A female employee there's not a lot of females there, is forced to cut fruits and put it in front of like each employee's table.
What?
And like don't
What?
even talk about the coffee.
That is the 80s, man.
And the reason they cannot refuse is because the person in charge for promotions and HR is in power and
it's like cut fruit, and it's like, okay, fuck, I'll cut fruit.
If you go into the direct example here for the school, all of the students here are dreaming to become idols or performers in musicals, all the entertainment fields. And the principal and the teachers and staff have strong ties with the entertainment companies. They can make recommendations and they can make unfavorable recommendations as well.
Say you call your student up for the insurance salesman event. I mean, this is all hypothetical, but say you call your students up and one student says, oh, that's a private event, I'm not going. Then you'll be like, Susie, she's really nice, but she doesn't go to private events. She's a good business person.
There's a lot to be solved here. I don't know. I think the public opinion is really rising against this school.
Yes,
so
it is completely against.
What we can do here is add a little bit more publicity to this issue, spread the facts, and spread some support to the students who have worked hard and who have courageously stepped out from the shades to address this issue and make it public.
Guys, please look into this issue, spread the word. And thank you for suggesting us to talk about this. It's a very important issue. And I want to say to the students of SOPA, 서울예술고등학교 학생들,
화이팅!
화이팅! 응원합니다.